This high-profile story really happened in the year 2023. Watch the video to the end to realize that life with a narcissist is not always just about perpetual suffering, scandals, depression, and devaluation, which are certainly unpleasant, but they can be survived. Often life with a narcissist greatly damages the health and appearance of the victim, and then it takes a long time to recover. But in some cases, relationships with narcissists are literally life-threatening and can be the last in the victim's life. In this video, I want to list the basic facts of this incident that are important to understand who narcissists are, and especially who psychopathic narcissists are. In my book about narcissists, I mention this type of narcissist, although it is more common to find classic narcissists who commit a lot of psychological abuse but are afraid to commit physical abuse. Although no one knows when the toggle switch in the head of even a relatively harmless narcissist will flip to outright sadist mode. So, in 2023, in Kazakhstan, a narcissist psychopath brutally murdered his wife, Saltanat Nukanova. He beat his victim long and brutally, accusing her of non-existent cheating, and filmed it on video. The woman died from the injuries inflicted on her. A few facts from this tragic story. First fact: Saltanat Nukanova quickly regretted that she married her future murderer, but could not leave him, even though he periodically beat her. If there is physical abuse in your relationship, or the person drinks alcohol to the point of being bad, this is a reason to end such a relationship as soon as possible. Second fact: Saltanat tried to leave her tyrant 8 times, but each time she came back. In my book about narcissists, I emphasize this point. It's phenomenal, but it is really morally hard to leave a narcissist, and there are many factors that cause victims to often return or find new abusers. In the book, I explain why this happens and how to resist it. Once you've made the decision to leave a narcissist, you shouldn't go back. Third fact: Saltanat had a good career, but because of the narcissist, she ended that career and became even more financially dependent on the narcissist. This included the fact that the narcissist was constantly jealous of her. She even went into debt. Of course, this only complicated Saltanat's attempts to leave her husband. In my book, I write about such cases in the chapter about financial abuse. As for jealousy, as it turned out later, the narcissist accused his wife of non-existent cheating, but was cheating on her for real. This is also characteristic of many narcissists. Even while his wife was dying, the narcissist was texting his mistresses and planning intimate meetings. Just listen. He did this while his wife was dying from the beating. Fourth fact: when the narcissist decided to woo Saltanat, she was a resource. She provided astrology counseling and had many clients. She was beautiful, grew up in a respectable family, but subconsciously fenced herself off from men. She was a kind, bright, and empathic lady. Narcissist saw her as a resource for himself and decided to pursue her. Fifth fact: narcissist did not have a very good past. A former official, arrested for bribes, divorced, with 4 children from a previous marriage. However, with his tales about himself and his persistent courtship, his love bombing, he made the woman fall in love with him. Yes, at this stage, narcissists do their best to make the victim fall in love with them. Sixth fact: already, in a few hours after the wedding, a quarrel broke out between the newlyweds, and already 3 months after the wedding, Saltanat regretted that she got married. I have already mentioned that as soon as a narcissist realizes that he has the victim on the hook, the love bombing stops and all hell breaks loose. That's what all narcissist victims go through too. Seventh fact. After the narcissist took off his mask, he started acting strange. In another video called Narcissistic Abuse is a schizophrenic delusion that steals time out of your life. I talk about how a narcissist's behaviors are often some schizophrenic delusion that is hard to explain. For example, the narcissist husband of Sultanat, almost immediately after the wedding, turned the family table upside down just because the gifts bought for New Year's Eve were opened without his presence. We remember that a narcissist considers himself the center of the universe, and such actions fit into the logic of narcissists, right? Fact 8. In Sultanat's life, everything that narcissist victims experience appeared. From the very first days of marriage, the narcissist forbade Sultanat to communicate with friends and relatives, watched her every move, suspecting in non-existent cheating, read her correspondence in social networks, forbade her many things, devalued her, arranged scandals. There were also beatings and blackmail, which shows that Nir Sultanat was not just a classic narcissist, but a real sadist. One of the reasons why Sultanat every time returned to her husband after trying to leave him was the fear of his revenge and fear because of his blackmail. Ninth fact. Narcissist brutally beat his wife to death in an expensive restaurant where there were cameras, but he was clearly confident of his impunity. He did not call an ambulance. Instead, Narcissist called a clairvoyant who assured him that the woman would wake up soon, and then he drove off to a meeting, leaving the woman lying in the restaurant's VIP lounge. The dying woman was watched over by the narcissist's brother, who ended up in the dock as well. Narcissists believe they are right, even when they commit a crime, and narcissists don't care about their victims, even if those victims are on the brink of life and death. There's a chapter in my book with brutal examples from my own life called "A Narcissist Will Betray You." Always. I suggest you read this chapter carefully to get rid of any remaining illusions that you matter to a narcissist. The 10th and most shocking fact, which also explains the nature of narcissists very well. Despite all the evidence, the narcissist denied his guilt to the last. He said that his wife often consumes alcohol, and because of her depression, she often falls and hits her head, and that this time she also had a bad fall because she was drunk, so it was her fault and he had nothing to do with it. He denied making a video of the murder. Instead, the narcissist said it was all a montage and he was being framed. The video's a montage, his voice is a montage. When convincing everyone that it was a montage failed, the narcissist said it was just his response to his wife after she humiliated him. What kind of humiliation is unclear, but narcissists believe they have the right to punish their victims in any way they want. Humiliating a narcissist is easy. It can even be done with a wrong glance. I write about this in my book too. Narcissist continued to accuse Sultanat of cheating, which didn't exist. He pressured his brother, who witnessed the crime, as well as the investigators to avoid punishment. He acted like an innocent sheep during the trial who denied everything and said he was framed, even after he was shown the video of the murder and shown all the evidence. Narcissists always deny everything, even if their actions are caught on a video camera, even if they are in court. What then can we say about the victims who know the narcissist is lying but can't prove it because they don't have him on camera 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Listen attentively one more time. This is a real story that happened to a real victim, to a real young woman who was only about 30 years old. I want you to realize that relationships with narcissists are no joke. It's not just about depression and unhappy love. It's about your health, life, and years wasted on tyrants and egotists. Narcissist, victim, rebirth. No more illusions.